Venn diagrams, and in order to understand Venn diagrams we need to understand something else, and that is what is a set. So I'm going to write down examples of different sets and I'm going to discuss sets. Okay, so these are 3 examples of sets, and as you can see they do look a bit different from each other. So the first example, this is numbers, so we denote sets with these curly brackets usually, and these are called elements. Each number is called an element. So a set is just a collection of things. So that's the maths term for a collection of things. So as we can see here, dog, cat, fish. Dog, cat or fish isn't particularly mathematical. When you put them in a collection with these curly brackets, we got maths. So again, so fish is an element in this set. And here again, so we've got a set and we've got a dice, a 50p and a ring, and yet these are also elements in our set. This is just to emphasise that a set doesn't have to be numbers, so it's just a collection of things. So this is an example of what a typical Venn diagram might look like. Sometimes you have 3 circles, and I want to try and explain it, but I think it's easier to explain when you put it into a context so you can think of something or an example. So what I'm going to think of is, so we've just discussed sets, and each one of these circles represents a set. So this set over here is going to be likes Taylor Swift. So in this set over here, you would put in this circle here, you would put all of the like people, but you would write them as numbers, but you don't like literally draw the people. You'd put the numbers that like Taylor Swift. In this set over here, I'm going to put like rap. Okay, so in this circle here, you would put the number of people that like rap. But as you can see, when we look at the likes Taylor Swift circle, it's kind of split with this weird line here. So what does that actually mean? What is that representing and why is it there? There's got to be a reason they're overlapping. So in this circle is everyone who likes Taylor Swift, in this circle is everyone that likes rap. Now as we can see, this area here, the surfboard here, is in both of them. What can that possibly mean? So if I put 3 people in here, so if I put 3, that stands for, in this case, 3 people, and that means that 3 people are in the Taylor Swift circle and the like rap circle. So they like Taylor Swift and they like rap. So it means they're in both. What strange people. Anywho's, if I put 40 people in here, in total, how many people like Taylor Swift? So if I asked you that question, rhetorically, because you can't actually answer me, I'm looking at this circle here as the likes Taylor Swift, and I've got 40 in here, so likes TS, got 40 in here, in that section, but I want the whole circle, and I've also got 3 chilling in the both section. Got the 3 weirdos that like both. So in total, I have 43 people liking Taylor Swift. So it's not 40, it's not 3, you add the whole circle up. Okie dokie. So that's what this is kind of standing for. What about if I put 20 in here? So the total number of people that like rap are the total number of people in the like rap circle. And as you can see, we've got the circle, but we've got 2 numbers in it, because that's in the section of both. So we have to add them both up. So we've got the 20 people that just like rap and don't like Taylor Swift, and then we've got the 3 that like both. So total 23 people. So that's important, you have to add up everything in the circle. What about this outside space here? So, as you can see from this situation, I've kind of made the question that if you don't like Taylor Swift and you don't like rap, where do you go? Like, there must be some people out there that don't like both. Although I can't see why anyone is not a Taylor Swift fan, but each to their own. So let's say I put 5 here. That means that they're not in the like Taylor Swift, they're not in the like rap, so that means they like neither. I think we understand that, so now I'm going to ask some questions. So I'm going to lead you through. So how many people in total? So how many people have I got to do my little survey of if they like Taylor Swift or rap? So what we do in total, this is our kind of our space of thought of this survey. So we just add up all the numbers that we see in the total space. So we have 40 that just like Taylor Swift, 3 that like both, 20 that just like rap, and 5 that like neither. So we add up all those numbers. So 40 and 20 is 60, and then they're 8. So 68 people who did this survey in total. So now I could ask, what's the probability they like Taylor Swift? That stands for. So probability they like Taylor Swift is the number of outcomes that can be over the total number of outcomes. So you've got how many people actually like Taylor Swift. So we just worked out that that is this whole circle here, which includes the 3 and the 40. So we have 43 people liking Taylor Swift. But we're not just asking who likes Taylor Swift, we're asking for a probability, which means we have to put it out of the total number of outcomes. So we put 43 out of 68. So that's the probability that people like Taylor Swift. What's the probability they like both? So we can go to, what are the circles where they like Taylor Swift and they like rap? So it has to be in both circles, so that's that section here. So it's 3, but again, we're on a probability out of how many? 68. So that's how we do that. Another one they can ask with sets is the complement. So what's the probability we'll write as this, Taylor Swift and dash. And we'll say that that means they don't like Taylor Swift. So that's everything, that is the opposite of liking Taylor Swift. So everything that isn't in the Taylor Swift circle. So in that case, you just add up all the numbers that is not in the Taylor Swift circle. So this is in the Taylor Swift circle, so we ignore the 40 and the 3. So we do 20 add 5 out of the total number of outcomes, which is 68, because we're doing probability. If it was a number of people who didn't like Taylor Swift, it would just be the 25. Because it's a probability, we have to do out of the 68. So 25 out of 68. What about the probability that they like neither? So that would be, so this is the like Taylor Swift circle, this is the like rap circle, so it needs to be everything not in this circle, which is the 5, but we're talking probability, so it has to be out of 68. So now we're going to go on to a few exam questions, just to practice through that way. So our first question, given the probability of A is 0.9, what is the probability of A dash? So first of all, let's recap. What is A dash? And that is the complement of A. So that was everything that is not in A. So it's everything that's not in the event A. So the probability of A happening is the opposite of the probability of it not happening. So we know the probabilities add to 1. So the probability of A happening and the probability of A not happening is equal to 1. And we've been given the probability of A, and we want to find the probability of the complement of A. So therefore, the complement of A, if we rearrange and solve this, we bring the 0.9 over, so we have 1 take away 0.9. And that gives us the probability of the complement of A as 0.1. So that is that question. So we've got shade the region that represents the probability of A and B. So this is within a Venn diagram. So what is the region that represents A and B? So what if I shaded in this bit, would that be correct? No, because that's just A and it's not in B. Shaded in that bit, what would that be? That would be in probability of B happening, but not A, because it's not in the A circle. Out here, that's neither happening. In here, so yeah, that's in the A circle, probability of A and the B circle. So the region we're going to shade, the probability of A and B is the overlap. So we're going to do a similar one to this. So it says shade the region that represents the probability of A complement and B complement. So that is complement, so I'm going to write that again, and that means not happening. So probability that A doesn't happen and the probability that B doesn't happen. So we know that these circles inside those are that they do happen. So if they don't happen, have to be outside the circle A, which is this one, and B. So it's all the area here on the outside, because that is not in the circle A or B. So that is the complement of both of them happening. So now we've got shade the region that represents probability of A and B dash. So B complement, which is the same as not B. So we want probability that A but not B. Okay, so let's draw our circles again. So we've got this one as A and this one as B. So we know the probability of A is everything inside this circle. So we would shade this circle. Then we've got the but not B. And we know that this overlap area means that it's also in B. So what we do is we don't want that. So we do everything in A but the overlap area. So we would shade just this that weird shape there, the moon shape. There, because that's in A, yes, but none of the points in here are in B. Okie dokie. Okay, so 40 students were asked if they had been to France or Spain, and the outcome was that 20 of them had been to France, 15 of them had been to Spain, and 10 of them had been to both. Make a Venn diagram. So first of all, let's make the outline of the Venn diagram, and there are two things, we need two sets. So set 1 is that you've been to France, and set 2 is that you've been to Spain. And then the outside region would be the bit that have been to neither. So when completing a Venn diagram, there's one really important thing, and that is you have to start from the middle and work your way out. So, for example, here, we need to work out the overlap first, and it says that 10 have been to both. And this overlap represents the ones that have been to France, in the France circle, and Spain. So we put 10 there. And then this is why you have to be super careful and do this step first. So if we now look at the people who've been to France, we know that they're going to be in the France circle. But in this circle, we already have 10 people. Yeah, in this little bit of it, but it's still in the circle. So we can't we can't just place 20 in there, because then we'd have 20 plus 10, we'd have 30 in the France circle, and that's just incorrect. So we have to do 20 minus the 10 that are already there, because they've already been to blow in both, they're quite lucky. So there are 10 left to go in here. So that is why you work with the overlap first, so that's really, really quite important. And the same thing happens with Spain. So if we look at Spain, Spain is this whole circle here, but we've already got 10 in this circle. Yeah, it's squished to the side, but it's still in the circle. So we have to do 15 minus the 10 that are already there. So we get 5, and 5, so that means there's 5 that have just been to Spain. Because the other 10 that have been to Spain have also been to France, so they're in the French circle too. Okie dokie. So now we need to add up, we aren't done, we need to think about what's on the outside. Have we accounted for all 40 students? We have 20 have been to France, Spain, and 10 have been to both. So basically the easiest thing to do, instead of looking at that data, is add up from here, because you've worked it out nicely. So 10 have been to just France, 10 have been to both, so plus 10, and 5 have been to just Spain. So if we add that up, we get 25. But there were 40 students overall, and we've accounted for 25 who have been to them or been to both. So take away the 25, and that is 15. So this 15 goes on this outside just to make up the numbers, and these poor 15 haven't been to any of them. So can I just highlight how important this step is here? So what can you say I counted 10, 10, 5? If I'd counted just 20, 15 and 10, that would be incorrect. I would end up with 45, and that just doesn't make any sense because we only asked 40 students. So be careful when you're adding them up that you must do this overlap first and then subtract, otherwise you're kind of double counting people. Okay, so this is our next question. 60 people were asked what sport they like: rugby, football or cricket. And these are our outcomes. We have 8 liking all 3, 17, and I've abbreviated these, so that's R is for rugby, F is for football, C is for cricket, etc. Don't CBA to just say all these numbers out loud. And it's going to ask us to draw a Venn diagram. So first of all, I'm going to draw my, just like that. And now we've got 3 things going on, so we need 3 circles. Now we need to label our sets, otherwise it's a bit meaningless. So let's call this one rugby. Okay, and just like the last example we did, it's so important again that you work from the middle and out, but now there are 3, so the middle is now this overlap. Okay, so this overlap, that middle bit, is in each of the 3 circles. It's the only part that is in each of the 3, so that is the all 3 part. So it says 8 like all 3, that's the easiest one to do, you just stick in 8 like all 3, bam, in the middle. Now this is where we have to think a bit more. So now we've got that 17 people like rugby and football. Okay, so this has to be in the circle that has rugby and football. So this is a rugby circle, and this is a football circle. So the overlap was this bit here. But as we can see, there's already 8 people in that little non-circle shape surfboard. So we've got 17, but there's already 8 of them in there just chilling. So you need 17 take away 8, and that is 9. So we put that in the gap of the surfboard shape. So the next part is that 13 people like F and C, so that is football and cricket. So we need it in the circle that is in football and in cricket. So this is football. This circle here, it has to be in this circle and this circle. So it's going to go into, now, this circle shape, this overlap. But there's already 8 people in that, chilling in that area. So again, we have to do the 13, take away the 8 that are already in there. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and that gives us 5. So we have 5 left to put in there to make up the numbers there. Okay, so we've got one more a bit similar to that. So if we look at the 19 that like R and C, so rugby and cricket, it's to be in this circle and in this circle. So it's going to be in that surfboard shape this time. But again, there's already 8 of them in there. So I need to do 19 take away 8, which gives me 11. So the 11 there, because there's already 8 of them in there, and now in that overlap, that does total the 19 that it says. Okie dokie, and now we have the remaining bits in here. So if we look at this piece of information, so we've got 35 in total, like football. So we need 35 in this whole circle here. But we've already got these lot chilling in the circle, already waiting. So we need 35. Take away the 9 that are already chilling in there, take away the 8 that is still like chilling, and the 5. And that is how many we'll have left, and that should be, I think, 13. Okay, moving on to the next one, so 27 like cricket. So we need 27 in this cricket circle, but as you can see we've already got some peeps in there. So we do 27 minus the 11 in there, minus the 8 in there, and minus the 5 in there, and we get 27 minus 11, 3. So are 3 just cricket lovers that don't like any other sport, well, rugby or football. And the final bit, 30 like rugby. So again, in this rugby circle we need 30 in total, but we already have 11, 8 and 9, so we do 30, take away the 11, take away the 8 and take away the 9 that are all ready in there. That gives us 2, so 2 are just rugby fans. Okay, but what about this outside bit? Now don't forget, what about in here, if we account for everyone, what if someone doesn't like any of them? Okay, so this is when we use our Venn diagram as opposed to adding these up because that's quite hard. And we do, so we've got 60 in total, so we need to count for 60 people, but we've got this many people loving all their different varieties of loving sport. So if we add up all the numbers we have in here that account for people liking whatever type of sport, we're going to have 3 plus 2 plus 13 plus 9 plus 5 plus 11 plus 8. Now I'm going to go with, hopefully I haven't missed any of those. And that gives me an answer of 51. So I've only actually counted for 51 people because 51 people enjoy various types of sport. So, but I asked 60 people in total, so that means then there's 9 left that clearly don't like any of these combinations. So we put a 9 there, and we are done. So yeah, really important to remember you work from the centre out and don't double count people if you can help it.